represented by Dr. Mohan Babu GN, Principal. Moti Babu Institute of Technology, Bihar, represented by Mr. Utkarsh Kumar, Training and Placement Officer. Sanskriti University, Mathura, represented by Shri Puran Singh Ji, Honorable Registrar. SVKM's Usha Praveen Gandhi College, Mumbai, represented by Dr. Anju Kapoor, Principal. Shri Vishwakarma Skill University, Palwal, represented by Professor Jyoti Rana, Registrar. St. Paul Institute of Professional Studies, Indore, represented by Sister Dr. Alice Thomas, Principal. Shri Ramakrishna Degree and PG College, Nandyal, represented by Dr. G. Ramakrishna Reddy, Principal. TRC Mahavidyalay, Barabanki, represented by Dr. Ravi Shankar Tripathi, Dean and HOD. Sandeep University, Nashik, represented by Mr. Suraj Jha, Training and Placement Officer. Maris Stella College, Vijayawada, represented by Dr. Sister Jacinta Quadras, Principal. Bombay College of Pharmacy, Bombay, represented by Dr. Vaishali Shirsak, HOD and Dean. KCES Jalgaon College, Jalgaon, represented by Dr. Sanjay R. Sugandhi, Principal. Indus International University, represented by Dr. Sanjay Kumar Bahal, Honorable Vice Chancellor. And lastly, Valley State College, Chitwan, Nepal, represented by Dr. Baburam Khanal, Principal. We would also like to extend our thanks to our esteemed media partners, namely Hindu Chakra Media, Daily Hunt, Republic News India, Flipboard Times, RDTimes.in, The Indian Bulletin, Indian Sentinel, Abhyuday Times, News Outlook, National Age, Times Bulletin, Prevalent India, The Fortune India, Pioneer News, India Influencer, Indian Scoops, Bharat Herald, Youth News Express, The Telegraph News, Mint News, Mint 24, IT India Thrive, Hindustan Saga, My Maharashtra, BharatMirror.com, India News 24, News Streamline, ScrollNews.in, RKD Live, Press Journal, Newshead.in, Telangana Post, Metro City News, The National Reader, and lastly, Let India Shine for their collaboration, support, and helping us deliver the session on an international scale. Moving forward, we would also like to extend our thanks and greetings to our legal partners, Advocate Ramashankar Tiwari ji, Allahabad High Court, Senior Advocate Shishir Kumar Saxena ji, Supreme Court of India, Advocate Balaratna Kumar ji for AP and Telangana High Court, Advocate Krush P. Anthony ji from Kerala High Court, Advocate Vikas Kumar Dangi ji for Delhi and Haryana High Court, Advocate Kiran Rajendra Makhare for Maharashtra High Court, Advocate Agam Shah for Ahmedabad High Court, Advocate Anand R. Binanwar for Karnataka High Court, and Senior Advocate Pramod Kumar Singh ji for Delhi and Patna High Court. We are honored to have a panel of accomplished CEOs, founders, co-founders, and industry leaders today as our guest speakers. By the end of today's session of Conference 4.2, we hope all of you will gain valuable insights into this crucial area.
Hello everyone, I'm Tia Bajpai, Shravan's co-host for Conference 4.2. It's my pleasure to co-host this conference with Shravan sir.
Before we delve into our topic today, let me briefly introduce SK Associates and Group. SK Associates and Group is an ASSO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSMED Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital, strategy, and operations. Our passion lies in helping aspiring entrepreneurs bring their dreams to life and contribute to global economic growth.
At SK Associates and Group, we take pride in offering tailor-made solutions to our clients. Our team of transformational consultants has a deep-rooted passion for entrepreneurship, and they bring extensive experience and expertise to every project. Over the past 3 years, we have built a network of 5,000 individuals from 30 plus countries representing diverse universities, industries, and functional roles.
Our ultimate goal is to assist 600 million students in India by providing pro bono consulting services in areas such as strategy, operations, human capital, compliance, legal advisory, research and development, taxation, and marketing. We also plan to invest 500 crores US dollars in these startups by 2035, creating more than 5,000 plus employment opportunities for startup experts, advisors, mentors, and research scholars. Our vision is to contribute to global economic growth by empowering the next generation of iconic organizations.
Collaboration and strategic alliances are key to achieving our mission. We are committed to promoting entrepreneurship development and community impact with a focus on empowering students for global economic growth. We aim to partner with over 1,000 universities and colleges by 2030, providing guidance and mentorship to students as they embark on their startup journeys.
The enthusiasm and interest we see among students for entrepreneurship is truly inspiring. Startups do have the potential to address critical social, economical, and geopolitical challenges through innovative business models. By promoting sustainable entrepreneurship, we can drive positive change and create a brighter future for all. Entrepreneurs not only generate job opportunities, but they also stimulate economic growth, offer innovative solutions to consumer needs, and foster collaboration with other businesses. We have witnessed remarkable success stories wherein entrepreneurs have tackled issues such as climate change, waste management, education, artificial intelligence, and many more.
Absolutely. Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transform lives, and make the world a better place. We are committed to supporting student entrepreneurs on their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, and networks they need to succeed.
At SK Associates and Group, we are immensely grateful for the dedicated support of our executive management team, including Ms. Vaishali Shri, Head of Human Resources, Ms. Tia Bajpai, Chief Strategic Alliance Advisor, Mr. Faiz Siddiqui, Public Relations Manager, Ms. Pooja Kumari, Organizational Development Coordinator, and Ms. Rima Kumari, Employee and Customer Relations Coordinator. The unwavering commitment has played a pivotal role in our growth and development. Thanks to their dedication, we can make a meaningful impact on the entrepreneurial ecosystem by inspiring, educating, and mentoring young individuals, encouraging them to pursue entrepreneurship instead of a regular corporate career. Now, before we delve into our discussions, let's take a moment to introduce our esteemed lineup of guest speakers today and tap into the wealth of wisdom they bring to the table.
Our first speaker of the day, Mr. Niladri Sacha, is an undergraduate researcher in material science and engineering at the UMSGTU Joint Institute. His work spans advanced electron microscopy, solar energy materials, and business strategy. He has presented at international forums on AI driven material selection and business innovation. With a keen interest in entrepreneurship, he has worked on strategic business models and startup feasibility studies focusing on sustainable economic growth. Furthermore, he has worked in companies like Apple, ABB Robotics, and Bravia Ventures LLP.
Our second speaker of the day is none other than Mr. Saurabh Singh, the CEO and co founder of Dismania Innovation Labs LLP, who is a visionary leader in the world of industrial design and product development. The passion for turning innovative concepts into tangible realities, Saurabh's journey in the design industry is marked by relentless pursuit of excellence. Saurav's mantra is clear: design is the best strategy, but any strategy is only as good as its execution. This belief drives his work and fuels his dedication to making impactful changes through design. As the CEO and co founder of Desmania Innovation Labs LLP, Saurabh has been at the helm since January 2019, overseeing a team of creative minds and collaborating with major corporate houses, Fortune 500 companies, MNCs, conglomerates, and startups. Today, together, they develop cutting edge products and strategies that span various sectors, including EVs, consumer durables, FMCG, healthcare, and technology. Saurabh's design journey extends beyond Desmania as he has played pivotal roles in organizations like Desmania Design Private Limited, wherein he serves as the associate director, and Saman Research Designs and Development Private Limited, wherein he was the founder, design director, and strategist. His expertise spans industries such as education, manufacturing, healthcare, tourism, retail, and FMCG. Before his entrepreneurial ventures, Saurabh honed his design skills to academic pursuits, earning a Master's of Design in Industrial and Product Designing from IIT Delhi. Saurabh Singh's journey is a testament to the transformative power of design thinking and execution. His commitment to innovation and product development continues to shape industries and create a lasting impact.
Next up, we have Mr. Ahmed Magdi with a background in electronics engineering. Ahmed has transitioned into the startups ecosystem in Egypt in 2018 as an investment matchmaking associate, research analyst, and deal sourcing lead. Ahmed has demonstrated his expertise in fostering connections and driving innovation. Recognized for his exceptional contributions, Ahmed is a proud recipient of prestigious awards from Visa and Central Bank of Egypt for his groundbreaking startup idea, DPACT. Drawing upon his diverse experience, Ahmed now serves as a dedicated startup advisor, offering invaluable strategic guidance to entrepreneurs.
Next up, we have none other than Ms. Manasvi Patwari, who is the founder and CEO of Evosol Pediatrics and the CIO of Shubho, two global student-run non-profits. Evosol Pediatrics focuses on raising awareness about pediatric health, while Shubho promotes interdisciplinary research in STEM fields. As a high school sophomore, she has organized international programs, webinars, and research internships to empower students and professionals worldwide. She's passionate about entrepreneurship, fostering collaboration, and developing innovative solutions to address global challenges. Welcome, everyone, and it's an honor to have you all with us. Your expertise adds a special dimension to our conference, making it a unique and insightful gathering. Now, before we begin this session, I would like to request all of you to kindly switch on your respective webcams so that we can have a two-way interaction. I would also like to inform you that the HR team will be conducting polls in the chat box throughout the session, and we encourage your active participation in them. Moving ahead, I would like to invite our first speaker for today, Mr. Niladri Sahasacha, and request him to commence his speech and share his insights with all of us.
Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well, and thank you for giving me the platform to speak. I would like to share my screen and therefore go ahead with the presentation a bit. Fair. Yes, I guess you guys can now see my screen. So, although we're talking about entrepreneurship and resilience built in entrepreneurship, I would like to take a step back and talk about entrepreneurship in the modern era, where in developing countries, we believe in the force of building something for ourselves, but we also look into the security of how it goes. So therefore, I would like to take a step back and go into the discussion of entrepreneurship in the modern day era, when the topic itself states failure and resilience in entrepreneurship. So hello, I'm Niladri Shah Sacha, and I have two of my ventures, which is one of them which is Shaha Traders, and the other one is a Nanobit Technology or Nanobit Group. So the first one is Shaha Traders, which I work with my parents as a part of the exports and import solution for them. And my personal venture is the Nanobit Group, which I work to create the SEO solutions. I used to work as a contractor, and I still have that business running, providing SEO solutions to companies in Bangladesh, and that includes some major companies and supermarket chain stores. I'm currently pursuing my my bachelor's of engineering in material science and engineering from Shanghai Jiaotong University and mechanical engineering from University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. And I'm part of the Joint Institute. I have minors in entrepreneurship, international policy, biomechanical engineering, and a lot more. I've been around the world with education and my profession. Professionally, as a service holder, I worked as a research analyst. I'm currently working as a research analyst for Talents Investment Management Group, and I'm researching on the Belt and Road initiatives and the research and the real estate investments. Worked in companies like BuilderX, Bravia Interior, ABB Robotics, and some other companies before. But let's look into entrepreneurship. Let's talk more about the project today. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, we'll look into the definition first. So when we look into the definitions or try to clarify what an entrepreneurship is, we firstly look into the basic definition that is stated. Entrepreneurship refers to the act of behaving like an entrepreneur while working within a large organization. They're employees who use their entrepreneurial skills to develop new products, services, and processes to enhance the organization's performance. We are already inside an organization, so you have the job security. And to start with, what is basically the difference between an entrepreneur and entrepreneur? In entrepreneurship, you're basically an employee and you have your company's security. So therefore, it's your company's risk if your endeavors fail. In entrepreneurship, it's a personal risk. We'll look into the company resources more when we want to go ahead with entrepreneurships. And in entrepreneurship, we'll look into securing our own risk. In entrepreneurship, whatever happens, you're still an employee. In entrepreneurship, you get the advantage of being a boss. Entrepreneurship, you don't have any ownership initially for the company, but in entrepreneurship, it's your company. But entrepreneurs can create their own business, taking on full risk and rewards. Entrepreneurs innovate their framework of a larger organization, often with access to more resources and support. So, to give a fine example of entrepreneurship before I start, we'll look into the development of Gmail by Paul Bucket at Google, who operated with the entrepreneurial mind within the company of Google itself. So, before we go into the 7 I's of entrepreneurship, we'll look into innovator, who's independent, an influencer, initiator, integrator, intuitive, and insider. Why is it important? Everyone, mostly in developing countries, like I would still quote it as developing countries, as a lot of our youth, we look into finding a secure job, and all of our parents who look into making sure that their kids have something safe, will look into finding a job. And therefore, to get a job and to have a secure position is important. But that also requires innovation and our insights of entrepreneurial skills that we want to show. So therefore, it's important because this entrepreneurship would allow rapid technology change demands, which with continuing innovation. Depending on your needs, you can innovate in the company that you're currently working in and develop something that works both for the company and for yourself altogether. You encourage your creativity and agility in organizations, and you do not resist to changes. And also, the companies without entrepreneurship risk stagnation. Let's talk. We have some major examples from the past, like Nokia and also Blockbuster. So another example that I want to put, it's one of my personal favorite, is the 3M Post-it note. So it's initially conceived as a failed product. No one uses it, and an entrepreneur. So it has huge potential. They designed it, and now it's leading to a multi-billion-dollar product. And you find all the post notes of different colors and different designs all around your desk, and it's like a must-have for most of the people. So, if you look into the skill frameworks of entrepreneurs and what are the key things that you would need, you would have to be proactive, you would have to be innovative, you would have to take risks, and you would have to be a strategic thinker. You initiate the projects and drive challenges. Most of the time, we say that people should sign up for organizations or start working for something that is basically related to the passion. You want to develop something, so why not you work for a company that almost have the same motto? Maybe you don't have to have the 100% of the same motto, but you might look into 30 or 40% of it. And if you do have that, then you can initiate projects and drive the changes inside that in that big company that you're working on. Innovate. You think outside the box to solve the problems that you have. Risk takers. You embrace failures as a learning opportunity and therefore grow ahead. And you are strategic thinkers. You align your idea with the company's goals. This helps you a lot. To give a major example that have previously been done is the Steve Jobs example. He's known for his entrepreneurial spirit because he transformed Apple's internal culture and also product innovation. To talk more about my personal experience with entrepreneurship directly firsthand was at ABB Robotics when I developed their failure analysis and their main reliability software. So typically, when we look into materials, I saw one of our panelists is also a material scientist. So we look into the materials when most of the people, like if you want to know the failure rate of the materials, you go and ask the company who created the material, like how long can this material last and like what's the longevity of it. But in reality, in industries, most of the time, each product, we have hundreds of components and different materials. So most of the time when you send it back to the supplier or manufacturer, it takes like 3 to 4 months. But the software, the if you look into the framework that is developed worldwide, we can make sure that we find out the solution in 1 or 2 minutes if we have the proper software and everything developed. So that was one of the entrepreneurship, because I wanted to save time myself. I don't want to go back and like wait for somebody's email after 3 or 4 months. I know I sometimes also do late replies, but I don't want that myself when I'm working on major projects. What are the benefits for entrepreneurship? For companies, you drive innovation and competitive advantage. When we look into the competitive advantage, you can look into the benefits, product capabilities. You might be saving costs for the company, resources, competencies, strategies, management, and whatnot. So you would be basically driving their company, developing it for a longer run, and you would also be one who's innovating. Most of the times, entrepreneurs get their IP on their own name, so therefore you are supported by your company for all the legal and all the things for your trademarks and the copyrights and everything, but you're still developing something. So you're still driving your innovation and still have the competitive advantage. You also enhance the employee engagement and loyalty for the company because you're working on the same goal. You reduce the risk of obsolescence by staying ahead of the trends. Because most of the time, if you're back of the trend, you're almost gone. And we have seen some major tech examples as well of how things have been just gone. One of my favorite examples when we talk about companies entrepreneurship that has been very well perceived is Adobe's Kickbox. We look into allowing the employees to pitch ideas and receiving funding to turn into reality. Walmart also has it. So this basically allows the employees to work on their own ideas, and they get the motivation to work harder on company projects and also on their personal projects because company is funding that. You don't have to go ahead and like search somebody else for funding. For employees, if I say about the benefits, I've already talked about career development, autonomy, and sense of accomplishment that you have developed something. But let's look into the challenges in entrepreneurship. There are a lot of resistance to change because you have bureaucracy, you have employees fearing the failure or disruption. If you fail, what will your HR think? In bigger associations, you report to somebody, and therefore most of the time you fear, okay, he might just kick me out the next day if he doesn't like me. Most of the time we try to be the best person out in front of our HRs and everybody. So if they do not want the change, you typically do not get the interest or excitement to create a change. So there are some resistance to change. Many companies do not want major changes either. We balance innovations with existing operational processes. Are you really doing the innovation that is very much matching to the present work? Or are you just like doing something that's out of the box and that you might not be ready about? We look into the internal structures of company, which can stifle like any kind of creativity that you would have. And also allocating resources effectively. You might not have the exact amount of funding that you might expect to have initially, and therefore you sometimes might have the limited access to funding or tools. For example, as I mentioned, Blockbuster already. Blockbuster failed to adapt to the streaming model proposed by Reed Hastings, who later led to the Netflix's rise. Today, Netflix is one of the largest, not one of the largest, it is the largest streaming platform around the world. And how do we mitigate these challenges? We top down the support for leadership. When most of the CEOs, as we have here, you would be open to talk to people and you would want to know more about the growing ideas that we have. Sometimes the CEOs are just old people who want to create a change, but they're unsure of how the changes would be. And therefore, it's if you ask somebody for their opinion and if you allow entrepreneurship, you would also lead to allow them closer to you, creating better leadership, and you would have dedicated teams on innovation. Many people might work on their own projects and therefore do your one as well. And you would have the resources and mentorships directly from senior people in the industry. Entrepreneurs always want mentorship from industry experts and everyone. So you now have mentorship directly. And this also encourages risk takings and failures from learning from failures. So my personal ideology is that most of the people, when you want to start your own venture, you first think of working in a company, gaining some capital, and like knowing some people. Why not you try entrepreneurship? It's like one of the best of the ideas because you can learn risk taking, you have mentorship, and you can also learn from the failures. You can understand the marketing capability. In sciences, although I'm a proper engineer, like I've done my majors and everything, but I personally believe that management and the finance guy is, and also the marketing, they play the biggest role in making sure whether your product is a success or a failure. An example that I would like to place is the Tesla example. They have empowering employees to experiment with newer ideas, and especially mostly in the renewable energy. So, what are the tools and resources for entrepreneurs? Currently, many of these universities, as we are speaking with universities, we have a lot of spaces dedicated to idea generation. Most of the universities try to have a certain amount of fund to fund the student entrepreneurs and support their ideas. So the companies also adapt to that. They have internal innovation labs, and most of the companies would be happy to do that to dedicate you some space to idea generation. Funding programs, resources like internal grants or innovation budgets can be given. Maybe you can create a small MVP to help you out. Mentorship and training, access to guidance and learning opportunities. For example, Google has a 20% time policy where employees can spend 20% of your time working on projects that interest them. So for sure, you might find resources around. What's the future of entrepreneurship? When we're talking of entrepreneurship, we are looking into AI and automation. We are creating new opportunities for entrepreneurs. We're allowing them to work remotely, more autonomy to teams because you're self-motivated. Diversity. You work with different ideas. You might have different ideas that might work in different environments. Uh, Amazon and Microsoft, they're working with AI-driven innovations within their team. So sure, why not? Let's conclude. I guess I'm almost done with my time. So we'll look into the key takeaways. Entrepreneurship, it's vital for modern organizations seeking continuous innovation. If you want to strive in the next generation, you would have to strive in innovation every day. Successful entrepreneurs would share their key characteristics and have access to tools and resources. If you want it, you can get it. Although entrepreneurs, we hear a lot of failure stories. Entrepreneurs have it too, but they also have a safety. So successful entrepreneurs who share the key characteristics also have the access to tools and resources, they rise higher in the ranking. To also build a culture that supports entrepreneurship can lead to immense benefits for both employees and companies. You learn a lot, you go ahead. So, my call of action would be start thinking about how you can apply the entrepreneurial mindset in your own role or organization. To all the youth, be proactive, innovative, and drive change. If you want it, you can find opportunities. For bigger companies, I would request you to have more entrepreneurs inside your company to allow a better change for yourself. Thank you, everyone. I'd love to hear your thoughts or answers and any question that you would want me to answer. Thank you.
So thank you, Niladriji, for your amazing speech. I had a small question for you personally before we switch off to
Sure.
the rest of the team. Since you have been dealing with Saha traders as a part of
Right.
the firm for a very long time, so
Right.
what would be your advice to people who are actually looking out to expand their firms, or entrepreneurs who basically come up with B plans that aim at building the firm and getting good revenues in just 1 year? What would be your advice to them?
Well, so if somebody who like just come and like want to build something of their own, and if you feel that you cannot develop something out of your own directly, you might work for a smaller firm or something. I really loved one of the Indian psychology, like the Zomato CEOs, post some days back that you can just get my mentorship and pay me 20 lakh or something if I'm not wrong. So this kind of thing is actually what entrepreneurs who are really interested in developing something are very interested to help. They want to talk, they want to know more ideas. It's not about supporting people, it's also about knowing the ideas that are working. I'm sure like when I grew in Saha Traders, most of the time it was my dad's thing. So when I was working with somebody from a senior generation, I mean from older generation to my generation, I saw a lot of shifts in the ideology. So when I took over my ideas, it was completely different. So integrating ideas might be a better solution for you initially. Yes, you might obviously have your own venture and everything, but I believe integrating older ideas and rooting to our like heritage is more important. As we most of you are from India, and I also like somewhat love the heritage part. I'm Hindu, so I would say root to your heritage, understand the methodology and everything. So you would do great if you can bring in the support for everything. That's, I think, my answer, I guess.
That's the right answer. Thank you. Now I would like to request the audience to put forth their questions, if any. You simply raise your hand or unmute yourself and speak directly. Any questions from the audience? None? Okay. Ms. Bajpayee, do you have any questions that you would like to ask Mr. Saha?
So, all right, I have like a very general question, uh,
Sure.
more about the topic. So, when you talk about failure and resilience, how do you think you coped up with failure, or what is your viewpoint on failure and being like resilient in your entrepreneurial journey?
Sure.
And
Yeah, I guess I can answer that. So, while working with ABB Robotics, our only competitor was Siemens Robotics. So, ABB is the second largest robotics company around the world. The second one, I mean, the first one is Siemens. So, when we look into what we do and what competitors do, we always have a benchmark. And initially, as we were talking about frameworks, I started with one ideology, and later, 3 months down the lane, I understood my whole ideology was wrong. So I had to like accept and learn from it. The most important thing is, do not be very stiff into knowing or doing something that you believe. Most engineers have been very stiff for the very beginning of their life. Like, they just some very passionate engineers, they're just dead as serious about their innovation. They're like, someone build robots, someone build softwares and everything. But I believe you go down. Most of the senior executives around the world, they want to talk to general people. So know what the market wants, what other people think about your projects. Maybe talk with 5 or 10 people who are new to the project and try to explain your project to them. If they feel that it's very useful for them as well, you're good to go. I was very stiff on the ideology that I would just work based on the framework. My project failed in 3 months, and then I had to restart again. So maybe if you communicate a lot more, and if you try to gain the feedback a couple of times throughout your development, maybe you can come back or try to cope up with your failure better compared to random failure after 3 or 4 months after you're done with your foundation.
right, perfectly answered. Thank you so much for your amazing speech. Please share your email address in the chat box if any of our audience has any questions or seeks further
Sure.
information. Please don't hesitate to reach out to him. Now, moving ahead, let's welcome Mr. Saurabh Singh, and I request him to commence his speech.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. Um, so, my name is Saurabh. Currently, I am running a company which is mostly deals in innovation, and our work in innovation is mostly uh, works with failures, and that's, I think, the very apt for today's discussion: failures and resilience. So I'll take you through the last innovation which we have worked, so that you understand the process of how we work on the innovation and how failures can be taken care of. So I hope most of you have heard about this term, design thinking and design methodologies, where specifically what we talk about is failures are part of process. They are not something which is alienated object where you don't expect that failures will not happen. So failures will happen. So accept it, make it a part of a process, and then strategically work about the whole thing which you're working on, so that you can mitigate the risks the way you move forward. So I'll take you through an example what the product which you're working on. I'll just share my screen. So, Can you hear? Can you see my screen?
No, not as of yet.
Yeah, I can.
Now it's visible. Now it's
Okay. So this is the brand daily where we are trying to create some innovative products in cooking. So as everyone starts, as any innovation starts with a brief insight that there is a need for cooking. We all are very busy nowadays, and we always have a problem in getting a right kind of a food at right time, also homemade and hygienic. So that was the area where we wanted to do something. We understood the market, we created what is the need and gap areas, and the way any innovation starts is that you try to get some insights of the market. And so the first area. So what happens is that when you look at any kind of innovation, we also want to create a business out of it. So you want to have something which can be scaled up, which can go for some kind of a volume, because you're not going to create something which sells only few numbers or few pieces. So the biggest problem with the volume and the scale is that whenever you want to make something for masses, it has to be standardized, because you can't get the raw materials and everything for customized product, and it will also take a lot of time to create customized products for each and every one. So cooking is such thing which is very customized, and everyone has a different kind of taste and different kind of cooking habits, and right from, and specifically in India, right from north to south, east to west, there are different kinds of cuisines, different kinds of raw material that goes in the cooking. The processes are very different, so it can't be standardized. So we need to create products, not rather one product, but a list, small products which can various kind of um, cooking activities. So the first one which we wanted to work on was the cooked tea. And the tea is something in India which is a very important part of all of our life. And so we wanted to create a machine which can cook a tea, and give you the authentic taste which you get it from your kitchen, which is like a cooking of a tea. Because vending machines doesn't give you the cooked tea, it gives you something which is pre-mixes and powders, and it just mixes with the hot water. While what you want is something which can boil the milk, cook the milk, and give you some authentic taste which you want to have, and also an option of customization. So that was the first product which we created, where we just tried to replicate the entire process of cooking, where you see the entire cooking is happening automatically, where it is also boiling the milk, and it is also creating a lot of the recipes can also be customized. But the biggest part with the automation of anything which you cook in the milk is that how you'll make sure that milk doesn't comes out, because that's the biggest problem with cooking the milk. And that's where our innovation was, where we started working in, that how can we control the cooking of milk related products. And this was the first prototype which we made, and it was working fine. And we were very happy. We created an app, and we wanted to just go about to launch the product. And it's 2021. We created another model out of it, which is what you saw earlier was a prototype. But then we created a product, which was you can create almost thousands of types of teas. Like you can have green tea, white tea, floral teas, and you can have recipes which you can download, and and it cooks. So the first one which you saw was the proof of concepts, that when we created an innovation where we were checking out whether the milk is coming out or not. Once we got that, okay, this is the product which is working fine, then we created a sellable product, that how we want to sell it, the look and feel of it, what kind of features we want to give, and what kind of value proposition which we are trying to put with that product. So this is where we created the entire product, the entire app. You can download the recipes, you can upload the recipes, you can share the recipes of tea, and you can have various kinds of tea, not just milk tea, but any kind of tea throughout any point of time. So this was the first product which we launched, and what happened was it got rejected by the market. The simple reason is that cost of the product was too high, and the value it was giving is very less. Because if you look at the simple example is that if you buy a tea in the market, could be a 10 rupees, 15 rupees a cup, and what you get for coffee is maybe 100 or 150 rupees. And our benchmark was that the way coffee machines are working, you have a very costly coffee machines, 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, and so that we thought that tea machine will also can fetch that value, but we were wrong. And that's where we felt that we need to create a right market product fit. And that's then we started understanding the different ecosystems, market ecosystems, how people are selling the products, how what kind of networks are available, what kind of products are there, something which we can get into. And from there we created various kinds of MVPs and prototypes, from bed tea machine to commercial tea machine, from all beverage machine to very specifically masala chai machine. And we created various products to understand what is the right market fit. And our approach was very simple, that we create a prototype, take it to the market, do the demonstration, understand the need. If it rejects, find out where the points, what kind of points are coming out where we are not addressing it. So then there were two areas which we wanted to, which came emerged, was one was the commercial machine sector, and second was the household machine. So commercial machine, which we call as out of the home format, has a very typical way of working, where nobody sells the machine. The machine goes on rent, and you don't get any money for the machine. What you sell is actually the chai masalas or the coffee beans. And suddenly we are moving from a product development company to an FMCG company, where we have to give the machine on the rent, and we'll be selling on the masalas. So how can we make sure that they will not take any other masalas and only masalas from us? And so we did some understanding and research and data, and those are the things which you can get it from anywhere. But the point is that the main thing which we wanted to create now was that if we are not getting the product, if you're not selling the product, if you're not getting the money for the product, then we make sure that they should not use any other tea leaves and take the tea leaves from us. So we created a cartridge kind of a system, where what you see here is a cartridge where these are the pre-filled cartridges with tea leaves and some masalas and even the sugars and the milk and water cartridges. So and these are all pure ingredients, not premixes or the powdered version of the masalas. And this is the another innovation which we did within the innovation, where the cartridges are something which is factory filled. Nobody can open it from the side, and it can create 200 to 300 cups with one refill. And this was again validated by the research, and we understood that what was the size of the one cartridge should be, and this we created. And another thing was that it should be 1 cup dispensing, because people who want to buy a tea, they just want 1 cup at a time. So you can create 1 cup, and still it should cook it. It should not give you a pre-mixed hot water tea. So we created the entire process where it is cooking in one single cup, and it cooks it boils it, the one single cup fresh tea. And then you have to just throw away this. So this paper which you're seeing is again biodegradable paper. It's totally plastic free, and you just have to throw it, and the tea is ready, and then you can transfer it to your cup or anywhere. But this is one single cup dispensing. So this was again one point where we just created a business model around it. How many cups we can sell, how many cartridges we can sell in a year, what should be the cost of the tea machine. And so this was the one machine which we saw. And then another one was the home appliances, where the entire business model is very different, where you want to sell the product and the product has to be very cost effective, and there are different kinds of SKUs which you have to create, where you can't sell just one single. Like if you look at mixer grinders, for any company you'll have at least 3 or 4 types of mixer grinders. If you buy any product from any company in home appliances, you get a lot of colors options and different models, different features, so you have to create various SKUs around it. So this is another version of the same technology, where we try to create a smaller version of the same core product. And this is how this product looks in the home appliances segment, where you have the milk and water goes up, and it can cook teas, it can cook soups, and it can also in so we had to do a lot of work with Middle East, and there is a Saudi coffee which needs to be cooked, and it takes 18-19 minutes to cook that coffee. So these are the kind of products, beverages which you can cook it. So this is how the entire thing looks. And in home appliances, the biggest thing is it should be easy to clean. The women wants their appliances to be cleaned every day. So the entire cartridges and everything was so simple to take it out, and you can wash it with your normal soaps, and then you can again put it back and you can reuse it. And the bottles which you see here, if you're not using it, you just take it out and put it in your refrigerator, so that you can also take care of the milk not getting spoiled. So this is a different product from the same technology, a different use case, different kind of standards. So this was how we created another product, and then we realized that both are not working, because for various reasons, there was a lot of maintenance required. There are certain things which we were not able to fulfill in the market, because we need to give guarantees, warranties, the compliances, and a lot of components which are coming off the shelf. And we were not getting the right kind of standards which we wanted, because we didn't have that kind of MOQs, which is minimum ordered quantities. So we have to again pivot, and this time what we did was, we looked at a certain area where we just focused on the cooking process, not the pre-cooking and post-cooking. And this we found that let's talk about cooking on the go. And masala chai has a problem, because tea is the only beverage which needs kitchen and a cook. It can't be done without that, because if you're cooking anything, you need a gas and a stove, and you need a person who can cook it, and he should know how to cook it. And because of that, there are a lot of areas where you don't find tea which has a very symbiotic relationship, where you can actually sell the tea in a very good way, because like pan corners, pantries, fast food, you don't find teas, because fast food doesn't cook anything. They have SOP, which is on everything is refrigerated. They just warm it or heat it, and they give it to you, and therefore they just give you coffee, because coffee has a machine. So they also wanted to sell tea, but they don't have tea machine which can give the same kind of tea. So this was finding out the different market segments, different kind of users, different kind of requirements. Again, doing some math and creating what kind of business is there. This is the final product, which is now we are trying to take it out, and this is where everything is now working fine. What happens with this is, this has such a small footprint. It goes to any pan corners or any dhabas or any tapri, and the person can just cook it. So it is not a unmanned machine. It's a manned machine. There is a person who's needed, but that person do not have to sit the entire time while the cooking is happening. He can do whatever he's doing, like he can attend the customer, he can do other things, and when the tea is ready, it just gives you an alarm that the tea is ready, and then you can pour it to the different cups. And this is the cheapest version, made it in aluminium, in a metal, and it doesn't have a lot of apps. It doesn't have any app. It doesn't have any kind of different kinds of recipes of tea, but just for single masala chai with addition of other ilaichi, whatever you want to add with it. But it doesn't have too many things like white tea, black tea, or green tea kind of a thing. It's just a pure masala chai, and this is how the final product looks. And This is some of the specifications, and just a video just to show that how what kind of impact it is trying to create. So one is that in a lot of these places you are afraid of hygiene, and so this gives you a hygiene factor because it is getting cooked in front of you, and it is all automated, nobody's touching anything, and everything comes automatically and it works, and you can see how it is cooking, and you can see what is going inside the pan. So that is one area. Second is that you're giving employment opportunity to a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of people where they don't have a lot of money to invest. So they just can take it like railways, railway stations. We are talking to government bodies, and where these kind of machines can be installed. It is such a cheap product that you just can buy, and can you just need a PowerPoint and you can start selling the teas. And it is modular in nature. You can have so many modules depending on what kind of what kind of size of batches you want to create. So this is how the product looks like, and we've got a very positive response now. This time we are getting something which is, everyone is interested. The price point is perfect. Even the users are because they are not buying it for their personal use. They are buying it
Excuse
for
me, Saurav. Sorry
yeah.
for the interruption, but I would like to request you to wind it up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, so this is done from my side, and this is what the final thing is. And yeah, so now if you have any questions, anything you can ask.
Sure. So, Saurav, actually, I had a question
Yeah,
personally.
yeah,
Like, since you have worked with multiple manufacturing innovations and grassroots innovations,
yeah,
uh, we all have like most of our people who are like associated with the startup consulting industry have heard about the CGT MSE scheme, which grants funding limit of 5 crores, and in
yeah,
this union budget, the government has revised it to even 10 crores.
right.
But again, when multiple entrepreneurs do try for it, they always report that there is a rejection and approval side to it. So, what's
Yeah.
your perception on that for manufacturing entrepreneurs, especially?
See, it is a fact. I never get. I have tried for it for multiple times. I could not get it. So collateral free loans are very difficult to get from such organizations, because it's very risky for them. But yes, there are various other things. Like for us, we rely on a lot of grants. We are part of various government, like TDP has a soft loan for of 1%, 2%. So you can get soft loans from various areas, and then there are various financial bodies who are specifically focused on certain sectors. Like agriculture has a different, like NABARD has a lot of funds for agricultural startups or in food startups. Similarly, there is another organization. I forgot the name, but they are more into social entrepreneurship. So once you get into the ecosystem, then you have to find the right financial partner. The regular route of going to SIDBI or any other bank for that matter, or getting a loan on CGTMSE is very difficult. It's very difficult. I think I have never seen a case where, unless until you are very connected or you have some ways to it, but without giving in collateral, it's very difficult to get those kind of money.
So, do you suggest that manufacturing sector entrepreneurs prefer PE or VCs instead of these?
So that's what I'm saying. That in our case, innovation, that NIF, for example, National Innovation of Foundation, they have a systematic payment plan where you get grants for till you get TRL 9. So till TRL 9, the technology readiness level, which is 9 is the number where it is about to launch. So if you till TRL 9, they have various grants. Once you reach to TRL 9, then there is a they offer you that if you want to manufacture it, they can give you a loan of they can give you money for of till 1.52 cr. You also have to put in certain things, but then by the time once you reach there are already a lot of tractions and a lot of other VCs are also get interested, because nobody put in money like just like that. So even if there is a free money, they also want to see what kind of work you have done so far. So that's what I think these guys are doing it. They are exposing the technology at a very early stage to the potential investor, and they look at your journey throughout the process, and then once they get a lot of interest and potential, then they invest it.
That was a great answer, Saurabh. Now I'd like to request the audience to put forth the questions, if any. No questions? Okay. I would like to request to Saurabh ji to kindly share your email ID in the chat box, so that if any of our audience has any queries, they can straight away reach out to you.
Sure.
Tia ji, if you could take it from here, please.
Next, let's welcome Mr. Ahmed Magdigate, and I request him to commence his speech.
Thank you. Can you hear me now clearly? Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Thank you for having me. So our speech today, our talk is about adopting strategic mindset. This is a very important topic because within the theme of this conference, failure and resilience in entrepreneurship, failure will not be seen as a failure anymore, and resilience will be seen clearly and achievable, which is simply that failure will be lessons learned, and we are simply adapting and being flexible in achieving our goals, so becoming resilient. So this is clearly within the context of the conference how or why we are talking about adopting strategic mindset. The first point is the definition of being strategic. What does it mean to be strategic? Strategic thinking or being having a strategic mindset means knowing exactly why you are doing what you're doing to achieve which outcome exactly. And most of us think, and maybe me recently, that being strategic thinker is something that's not that's very hard, or for someone who's leading a country or some sort of a leader. But actually, this is not true. We were born strategic thinkers. This can be seen clearly when you find a baby who is just born, getting what he needs exactly by just crying. He knows that when he cries, he gets feeded, or when he cries, he gets the toy that he wants, or when he wants to change the diaper, he just click the button and cry. So this is as a clear and cute example that I think of to remind us that it is in our DNA that we were born strategic thinkers. So a lot of reasons why you have to be a strategic thinker in every life aspect, not in your career or finance, in every life aspect, socially and whatever else. But we can mention some reasons why you have to be strategic thinkers, something like taking smarter decisions in your career or in social life, focusing on meaningful goals. And by meaningful goals, we mean to have a goal that is in alignment with your core values, that in alignment with your true desires. And of course, this will lead to avoiding wasting a lot of time in something that's not related to you, that you do not feel like it resonates with your heart or something like that. And consequently speaking as well, you will find out that you're not reacting to what's happening anymore, but you're taking an action, a meaningful or mindful action in every step, which means that you are having your own agenda and applying it, and you're having your own plan, not just included in others' plans, which will make you very resilient because you will be navigating challenges easily because you know exactly where you're going to go and where you're heading, and you're just moving around or navigating with more flexibility and agility. So this is the as a start. For the next thing that we can talk about is how we can be strategic thinkers. So being a strategic thinker means simply that you need to start with the end in mind. What do you want to achieve? You have to know exactly and clearly where you want to go. If you do not know where you're going, anyway, or you're already there, because there is no certain place or certain goal you want to achieve. So you have to start with the end in mind. For example, you are planning for a vacation, you need to go, where do you want to go? And actually, you have to remember as well why you want to go there. You have to start to, as Simon Sink, if you have heard about him, starting with why is a very crucial point in this in navigating the challenges, reminding yourself consistently on a constant basis why I'm doing this. So this will lead us to knowing that we have to divide our pathway, our goal to smaller goals, achievable goals, smarter goals, more specific with a timeline, knowing that to measure, how to track and measure and record or document our achievements. And this will lead us to asking better questions. And as Tony Robbins say, the quality of one's life is directly related to his quality of questions. The quality of questions that you are asking yourself, not only other people, because this means that you are very mindful. This means that you know your motives. This means that you know your core values and why you're doing what you're doing. So when myself included, we all need to stop asking ourselves why this is happening, why this happened to me, why this is the negative head start or negative approach to our mind, to talk to our mind. We have to ask, how can I be more efficient? How can I be more productive? How can I achieve this goal or that? What can I do here and now? What do I have here and now with in my hands, in my within my reach, that I can use to achieve the next step and build up the momentum to achieve more goals. So keep asking yourself. This is a very good exercise and very good practice for everyone to do, to ask themselves with a pen and paper. Ask yourself why I'm doing this. Ask yourself then, what do I have now that I can use to move forward and upwards, and to have a better life, better quality of life in every life aspect, whether it's spiritual, whether it's a project you're working on, whether you want to get married or have a vacation or a house, whatever reason or goal you have. And there is this very, the dilemma that everyone thinks that everyone knows what he wants except him. Actually, this is not the case. Most of the people do not really know what they want. The normal case for humans that they do not want what they do not know what they want. So they just mimic others or imitate others or adopt others' goals, their parents, the media, their colleagues, their peers. This could be normal for some time, but eventually you will find out that all these goals are not meaningful at all for you. You will feel like, this is not me. I do not want to do this anymore, because you are very true to yourself to face this truth. Actually, this needs a lot of courage. This needs a lot of strong stand with yourself to feel like that. Okay, this is not what I want. I do not really know what I want, but I know this is not what I want. So this is clarity. Finding clarity starts with knowing what you do not want. Get a pen and paper again. Use a pen and paper always, and write down clearly. Get the thoughts out of your mind in front of you. I do not want to be poor. This is for sure. So I want to be rich. Be more specific. What rich means to me? By rich, do I have to be Elon Musk, or do I just my daily income to be at a certain level? $1, $2, $10, $100 every day. So how can I achieve that? Starting with what you do not know, what you do not want in life, will clear your mind from all the thoughts, all the negative emotions, everything that you might be having because of whatever circumstance you are in now, and will lead you by keeping doing this exercise every day. You will gain clarity, and you will gain focus, and you will gain momentum, and you will be able to ask better questions that will lead you to live a better life and achieve more goals. And so finally, this it's a final note about the intention and the power of intention. Myself included, I don't think I have understood intention until very recently. What do we mean by intention? When someone asks you, just intend to do it, ask yourself, what's your intention? Intention, at the beginning, I thought it was just focused idea. Then recently, I found out that why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's simply that. What's my intention in attending this talk or giving this talk? What's my intention, if you are the audience, to attend such a talk, or listen to someone like me, or going to do this project, or meeting these people? What's in my intention? Being intentional. Do not try to be intentional about the big things at the beginning, because probably you will fail. Start with very small things that you feel like it's in harmony with what you really want. What's my intention to take a walk in the garden? To feel better, just as simple as that. What's my intention to sleep at night? To feel stronger, or because I want some relief or some peace of mind? What's my intention in meeting this new people, or attending this summit, or going to this place? One by one, you will gain momentum, and you will build up this crucial skill that you need to have in every moment of your life. You will be more aware. You will have a great awareness about yourself. You will understand yourself more. You will feel empowered. You will give yourself the empowerment that you need. No, you will not be needing to wait someone to give you such empowerment. I was trying to make it as simple as I can, and to be strategic as I can in every word I said. I hope it was clear enough, and I'm open to have any questions, please.
So since we're actually talking about the power of intention, Ahmed ji, I had a small doubt. We multiple times observe that entrepreneurs are often working on one idea with a determination of actually executing it and completing it, whereas they get another idea and frequently they actually launch out a second startup. And at the same time, they are working on multiple startups. So what's your take on it?
I hope I have heard your question right, because it was cutting off a bit. So please let me know if I'm answering in the wrong direction. But what I heard is that they're working on multiple projects, and they're not really knowing what they're doing, or they're messed up with a lot of ideas or thoughts. So they're getting everywhere, and nothing is done actually. They're being just busy. Is that what you meant, or? Okay, so great. Actually, this is the normal. This is the common practice, if we can say, between entrepreneurs. They want to feel that they are capable, so they're keeping themselves or successful. So they are just keeping themselves busy all the time. They have a calendar that's full of slots, and everyone having meetings, or everyone going everywhere, doing everything. And this is partially has has a thing with imposter syndrome that he's feeling he's not good enough, so he is trying to do more, so he's complicating things more. So again, back to intention, as you said, I have to ask myself why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, why I'm doing the big project. Within this project, why I'm doing this milestone. Within the milestone, why I'm doing, for example, in our new app, why I'm attending this meeting, why we're doing this meeting, and keeping an objective, an eye on the goal of out of this meeting will save us a lot of time. Asking ourselves before every meeting, why we're doing this meeting, okay? Why did we take this client? Why did we move to this place? Things like that. I have to keep it simple as much as I can, because if I'm trying to answer a very complicated big questions like why we're here, we will not go anywhere. We have to start small by asking ourselves why we're here right now, actually, to do this, okay? So this will lead to what, and then what? And this will build the momentum and let us know clearly where we are heading. This can start from the end, the project we're doing as a whole, or this can start with what I'm doing right now. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to invite the
Thank
audience
you.
to put forth their questions. Yeah. Any questions from the audience? Okay. No questions or no at all? Firdaus, Goldie, Ishika, Manish, Mustafa, Najas. No questions? Okay. I guess
Was it clear or was it not understandable?
I guess your speech was very
Was it
clear.
clear enough that no one else okay.
Very clearly understandable.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Please do share your email ID in the chat box so that our participants can reach you out if they have any other queries in future. Sure.
Thank you.
Ms. Bajpai.
Yeah. Thank you for the amazing speech. Next, we have Miss Manasvi Patwari, and I request her to comment her speech.
Yeah, of course. Hi, good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, I won't be able to turn my camera today due to me being in a different location. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect. First of all, I just want to quickly thank the organizers for the opportunity to speak, and all of you for being here today. I was asked to speak a little about the idea of entrepreneurship as a student and in general of how it works and the main idea of failure. And I just wanted to talk about how being an entrepreneur doesn't start with just wanting to do something. It starts with having a passion for something. And I wanted to talk specifically about my organization that I started last year called Evasol Pediatrics. I'm a current high school student from the US, and I've always had the passion of working with kids, but in medical field. But one main thing that always, I would say, hindered my opportunities was my age. Since I was younger, more people were kind of afraid of giving me opportunities to work in the medical field. And that, I would say, definitely, I wouldn't say it stopped me from moving on with what I had in mind, but it definitely gave me the idea of, oh, maybe this isn't the time. But one thing I just want to say is your age doesn't matter. It's based on what you want to do. If you're interested in a certain field, then you have to go for it. And that's where my idea of starting an organization started, because then I get to be in charge. Whatever I do, I can figure out what I want to do next. And this is why I wanted to include other students who are in the same situation as me, that need to find opportunities for what they're interested in, and their age is a huge restriction for them. When it comes to entrepreneurship, I feel like there's a lot of struggles that happen when you first start it. For Evasol, it was mainly just virtual. It still is, and we work with 20 different countries worldwide. But it's more about, how do I get my content to the right people? And when it comes to having like an entrepreneurial mindset, I say there's 3 different types of things you have to know about. One is every problem is a new opportunity, because sometimes things don't work out, and that sometimes is in our control, sometimes it isn't in our control. But at the end of the day, it's more about, hey, was I able to overcome this problem? Was I able to find a solution? The next thing is use your resources. As a student, you probably don't have a lot of connections yet. You probably just have the people that you met at school or your friends. But I'd say a main point to getting anything started is your family. Your parents are always there. They have the experience and the definitely more connections than you have to get things started. So if you are interested, let's say you want to start a business and you want to find people to get your content to, you need people. Let's say for Evisol, we needed speakers. I would say a main people to go to are your parents, and they could help you reach out to more people. So that's like another thing. Using your connections is really important. And number 3, I'd say students. You guys, I'm pretty sure most of you here are students. So if you're interested in doing something, I'd say go ahead and do it, because at the end of the day, you need people who are passionate. It's not about, hey, how old you are, how much experience you have. It's more about, hey, do you want to do it, or do you have the time to do it? Because commitment and passion are the 2 important things that I would say I value, and I try to have everyone at my organization value, because those are the main things that started the organization. So when we're talking about kind of teaching our students to see problems as opportunities, I want to go a little more in depth into some of the struggles I faced during my own time. And yes, in a few days, actually, on February 22nd, it will complete officially like 1 year of starting Evisol. And during this time, it was definitely not a piece of cake. There were a lot of things that I had to work through, long days, definitely, of just sitting there trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And one thing that you could probably see, social media helps a lot. You can get to the right connections, you can get to the right programs, but it's more about how can you use social media for your own purpose. You see many of the people talking about how social media can be kind of a distraction to students, but I'd say it kind of helps the students, because at one point, when you're a student, you're stuck with your own exams. You're stuck with figuring out what you're doing when it comes to school. But do you ever think about the outside world? Do you think about social, like the social media, social connections? No, you don't. And so this is where social media comes into play, because it gives you more of that opportunity than you think you can find. And so I feel like that's one of the main things the entrepreneurial mindset is about. It's about figuring out where the problem is and what can I do to go next. And when it comes to one of the main problems I had, like I mentioned, was finding people. So how do I find people now? Especially if I want to go international, it's not about just the people at my school. It's about the people, let's say, over in India. I have a few people that I work with in India. And the main idea is you have to try to get them interested. And then my main concern was like, how do I even reach out to them? So after all these problems, it kind of, the idea just came to me at the end of the day about how we should try, hosting events this way that the people can come together and they would be able to kind of figure out if you want to continue, if you want to like network. I would say that's one of the main things as well, networking. But it's more about problem solving. You won't get a solution overnight, and it's more about if you're willing to continue and look for the change yourself. Next thing I want to talk about is kind of encouraging failure as like a stepping stone, right? So one of the biggest things that I would say holds most of us back is the fear of failure. We're always like, oh my God, what if something goes wrong? We won't be able to move on. And I'd say that we grew up in a system where we're mainly taught that failure is bad. Ever since like grade 1, standard 1, we've always been like, okay, you can't have bad grades. You have to have good grades, straight A's, whatever. You have to move on that way. And I'd say in entrepreneurship, having failure is important, because if you don't experience that, then whatever happens in the future, you won't be able to expect what happens. You won't be prepared for that. So when it comes to Evisol specifically, we had challenges when it comes to engagement. Sometimes students had we had exams, we had other things to worry about. But one of the main things that I've learned is that you have to keep going forward. If there are some people that can't do something some week, then find another person. There's always more people in this world than there are problems. That's what I like believing, because there's always one solution to every single problem there is. So when it comes to the real world, the most successful people are the ones that have failed the most, but they just kept on going. And another point I want to make is giving the students the opportunity. I've talked about this before, but it's not just about having a good idea. It's more about also putting in the work for the idea. And this is why I think the education needs to go way beyond theory. I know at school we talk about business, other subjects, and you always go theory, theory, theory. But it's more about giving the students the opportunity to lead. Because if you try doing that once, there's probably a lot of things that you would be able to see that are accomplished now. And why? It's just because you decided to give one person a chance. So at Avasol specifically, I like to pull in a few examples from here and there. But at Avasol, we don't give students specific tasks. We like giving them an opportunity to go ahead and figure out a solution for a problem themselves. Are they interested in working in a specific campaign? Okay, go ahead and do that. We'll give you the freedom to go ahead and figure out what you want to do. Because my main thing is that it doesn't matter if you're a student, you have capable of doing so much more than what we give you credit for. And to wrap kind of this all up, why does this even matter? Why is entrepreneurship a really big thing that people are interested in? Because it's not just a career path, it's a mindset. And once you get into the idea of entrepreneurship, I feel like it just keeps pulling you in. You can't leave. I never thought that, hey, I would be someone who, is interested in entrepreneurship. I always thought, yes, medical will just go that way. But I feel like once I stepped into the area of being an entrepreneur, talking about how businesses work, it definitely interested me. I kind of felt like each challenge was an opportunity. And it just gave me the idea that success exists. You just have to go look for it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you want to be. You want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, you want to be a researcher, startup founder, whatever it is. I feel like having the entrepreneurial mindset will take you far in life, because that's what gives you the real power to be able to do what you want to do. And one thing I just want to make sure that if you're a student, you're interested, is that you don't need permission for anything. Yes, you want to make sure that the people, your family knows, your parents know. But at the end of the day, you're not dependent on someone. You're independent when you want to be an entrepreneur, and you have to figure out what you're doing. And for all of you, I believe in you, because I started at one place where I didn't know what I was doing, and I think I'm doing pretty well right now. So, yeah, you guys can do what you want to do, and you will get far in life. And yeah, that's basically what I had to say. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, that was a great speech, Ms. Patwari. Although I would have appreciated it if you could just switch on the webcam, but still, that was a great one. Although I have some questions. Firstly, being a kid of 18 years at just in your high school, what inspired you to take up entrepreneurship?
Okay, so I've actually had a few friends of my own who were able to start a business because they had a passion for something, right? And one of the main things that really bothered me was, again, what I mentioned, the struggle of having a restriction of age. Because I was younger, no one really wanted to give me that opportunity. And I felt like, okay, maybe this is it. I won't be able to move on. And looking around the other people, they were like, no, you have an opportunity. You just have to go find it. And I feel like entrepreneur gives me that power, because I'm in a leadership position. I can figure out what I want to do next, and I'm not dependent on anyone. So I feel like entrepreneur itself, it gives a person power and freedom to do what they want to do, rather than being codependent on another person.
That's actually great. Do you hail from Delhi, Ms. Patwari?
No, I'm actually from Hyderabad.
Hyderabad, okay. That's great. Excellent. So I would like to invite all the audience to put forth their questions, if any. Any questions from the audience for Ms. Patwari? Here we have one of the youngest entrepreneurs of the decade, I guess. No questions at all? Okay, no issues. I would like to request Ms. Patwari to just share out your email ID in the chat box so that if anyone has any queries or seeks your mentorship, they can just reach out to you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Sure. I guess you can carry on from your Ms. Bajpayee.
Sure. Thank you, Manasvi. It was a really wonderful speech. Now, as we come to the close of this remarkable conference, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation for each and every one of you. The knowledge shared, the insights gained, and the connections made have all contributed to the success of this event. We are truly grateful for your participation. As we wrap up this conference, we kindly request all attendees and speakers to take a moment to provide their valuable feedback and reviews on Google Meet. Your input and thoughts are highly appreciated, and they will help us improve our future events and continue delivering high quality conferences. Thank you for your participation and for being an integral part of this remarkable conference. We look forward to your reviews and hope to see you at Conference 4.2 tomorrow as well. Until we meet again, stay inspired, keep dreaming, and continue to strive for excellence. Thank you all. Farewell for now.
Thank you, everyone, and do join us for the session 2.